celebrating. I'm in my gown, walking down the hallway of this labor delivery floor. Darian's probably on his way over, or getting ready to come over or something. Yeah, he's coming over. Chaos happened. They finally got me into my actual delivery room, my labor and delivery room. And at this point, we're there for a long time. I mean, at this point, it's like 6 at night on the 10th of November. So, and keep in mind, I don't have her until like 6 a.m. that next morning. So we're in that labor and delivery room for another 12 hours. So at this point, I finally get into my room. Darian's not quite there yet. He's on his way. He's picking up food or something. And the nurse comes in, my main nurse comes in finally and tells me, like, I'm your nurse for the night, you know, would you like an epidural? And I told her, I was like, yeah, I would like an epidural, because I was dating when something happening, you guys. And at this point, she was like, okay, that's good. She's like, because the doctor recommends you getting an epidural. She's like, he wants you to try to do the epidural and have your body relax during the contractions, because he's pretty sure that's why you're not dilating, because you're tensing up so bad. I was like, okay, like, I guess that makes sense. So I get the epidural done, and may I add, this is so scary. My mom was there, and I really don't know if I could have done it without her. I mean, I would have had to, obviously, but she really helped me, like, stay still, stay calm. They raised the bed up really, really high and had me set up my feet at the end over the bed, and they gave me a pillow, you know, just a regular pillow to hold over me so I can, like, lean over so my spine, you know, shows. So they do that, and the nurse is just saying, you know, don't move. She's really good at her job. The anesthesiologist, I think is what it's called. She's really good at her job. Like, I trust her 110% to do your epidural. And I was like, okay, like, that helps me a lot. So the anesthesiologist comes in, and she does my epidural. So again, you know, the nurse has me raised up on the bed with the pillow already. So the anesthesiologist is getting me all prepped in the back. And all I feel, and from what my mom was saying, was that they were just getting me obviously prepped. They were putting, you know, dressing all over me, taping me up, and then next thing I remember is she was saying, you know, don't move. Like, I'm gonna poke you with this needle and it's gonna sting like a bee sting, but it'll only last for like a minute. So it's not a big thing, it's just to numb you. I was like, okay, like, that shit hurt me. Like, it really did hurt, like a bee sting. But it wasn't as bad as the contractions, so I was totally okay with it. But she does it, you know, sticks me with the numbing stuff, and it stung, like I said, and like 20 seconds later I couldn't feel anything in my back. Like, it literally was so fast. So she's like, okay, and then we're gonna actually do the epidural. And I was like, okay. So she does the epidural, you know, finishes all that, gets me undressed, they put the bed back down, and I'm fine at this point. Like, I start feeling the epidural going through my body. It's really, for me, it was kind of like cold. It was really kind of cold to me. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I just felt all this cold fluid almost rushing through me. I really don't know how to explain it. It was really weird, but my legs started going numb, which was cool. My stomach started going numb, which was nice. My back was nice. I think I had a lot of back labor. I think that's where, like, why I was in so much pain constantly, was because I had a lot of back labor. So she finally gets me all done with the epidural. I lay back down, and I'm like terrified of ripping all these tapes out of my back, may I add. But they're like, yeah, you're cool. You can turn, you can move, you can do whatever, you know, once you stay in bed. So I finally am like comfortable, and Darian comes in finally after the epidural, and he's holding McDonald's, you guys. He has a bag of fucking McDonald's. Like, if I didn't eat, I would have probably been a lot more mad. Like, I was so hungry still. Even though I ate, I was still hungry. And he comes in with the McDonald's, and obviously, like, I'm not gonna stop him from eating. He needed to eat. But that shit smells so good. It smells so good, you guys. But he comes in with McDonald's, and I'm on the bed all, you know, drugged up on epidural. And he's like, hi. He's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, well, I'm all drugged up. How are you feeling? And he's like, well, I got McDonald's, so we're cool. Like, okay. So at this point, he sits down, eats his McDonald's. I don't know what I was trying to say. But he sits down and eats McDonald's, and then my mom's over in that chair falling asleep. His mom's over there, like, trying to relax. And then he even brought his friend Robbie, you guys. Like, I was not expecting Robbie to come, which I didn't care. Like, whatever. But Robbie came. with Darian. So they're both just at, you know, McDonald's over here. And I'm on the bed, just being pregnant in labor, you know. And then it got to the point where I think it was, let me see, midnight, 11. So, you know, I labored for like another 6 hours. And nothing really happens. I just labor, I lay down, watch cartoons. They eat their McDonald's, come in and out. I think Robbie at this point like left in the middle of it. I know doctors and nurses are coming in, talking to me, checking my cervix. Nothing's happening, you guys. Like, I'm not really dilating. So when it comes to be like 11 to 12 at night, they finally decided to put me on Pitocin because I wasn't dilating. They were like, okay, obviously you're in labor. Like, we need to put you on a little bit of Pitocin just to try to get everything going so we wouldn't end up in a C-section. Well, they do that, and my contractions definitely picked up a lot, like to the point where my epidural actually stopped almost. Like, it just wasn't working. It wasn't keeping up with my contractions or something. I don't really know. But they do that, and my contractions start picking up. I start dilating, you guys. Like, that's amazing. I start dilating to like a 4 or 5 really quickly, really fast. So at this time, it's like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. It all passes. I have contractions. So around probably 3, my water breaks. And I remember Darian was laying on the side of the bed, sitting, and had his head like on me, on my legs. And he was just sleeping. Poor baby. He was so tired. But he's laying down, and I feel my water break, you guys. Because keep in mind, my epidural isn't working all that well. Like, it's working enough where I can tolerate it, but, like, it's not working like it should. So I feel all my water break. Like, the whole freaking thing. And I don't say anything, you guys. I don't say anything. Because I knew around the time the nurse was going to be in within the next, like, 10-15 minutes. Well, my dumb butt, yeah, I should have said something. Don't comment. Yeah, I know. But I don't say anything, and the nurse finally comes in. And the reason why I didn't say anything was because I didn't want to wake everybody up. Like, I don't know. But she comes in and she's like, so your water broke. I'm like, yeah, I know. And she's like, wait, what? You knew? You felt it? Like, what? And I was like, yeah, I felt the whole thing. She's like, and she just like looked at me. That was literally her reaction. She was just like, okay. She's like, you're dilated to a 7. I was so happy. I was just like, I don't know what you say. Like, I didn't tell you my water broke. My water broke, and now I'm dilated to a 7. Like, cool. Like, you know. So I'm dilated to a 7 at this point. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're still having difficulty dilating me. I don't know why. Like, I'm really not 100% sure. The doctor said that was something to do with her water. If my water didn't break naturally, they would have had to do a C-section, he said. And I guess to the point of why he would have had to do a C-section was because I wasn't dilating. I was in labor for so long, and her water was blocking the, like, exit pretty much. So because when her water broke naturally, it just, you know, she came. She, you know, was able to push down more. But with her water being blocked, it just wasn't making me dilate and stuff. So when her water finally broke, that's why I went from like a 4 or 5 to a 7 so fast. So at this point, they're getting everything ready for me to have her because I'm so close to a 10. So they put all the surgical stuff on the table, you cover it up with the dressing, you know, so it doesn't get all gross and touched and everything. So at this point, everybody's pretty much awake. So she tells me, you know, do you want to start pushing a little bit? And I was like, no, not really. Like, I'll just wait it out a little bit longer. And she was like, okay, that's fine. So I sit there and I waited it out for a couple more hours, you guys. Like, she didn't come till 6:20. I didn't start pushing till 6 o'clock. So for a couple more hours, I'm still just dilated at a 7. So at this point, the doctors are really considering a C-section because I was going so long with my water being broken, a couple hours already, and so long in labor and everything. And I wasn't dilating it like I should. So they were thinking about C-section, but thank God Adeline was able to make it 3.5 hours almost later, because around 6 they finally checked me and they were like, okay, you're at a 9 finally, like we're gonna start pushing you a little bit. So I start pushing a little bit, just enough where it like kind of pushes her down more, not really for labor pushing, but they get me all, you know, raised up on the bed again with my legs up. Darian's over here, his mom's over here, my mom's over here. There's like 100 nurses, I feel like, over here. And then they're like, okay, we're going to call your doctor, like your actual delivery doctor. I'm like, okay, cool. So my actual delivery doctor could not make it. She just, I don't really know. She just wasn't on call, I guess, or something. So a male nurse doctor, he's a doctor, not a nurse. That's very offensive. So a doctor, he comes in and he's like, so you're ready to have this baby? And I was like, yeah, I've been ready for, 30 hours. Like, I've been ready. And they're like, okay, cool. So he, does his thing and checks me. He's like, okay, so you're about to push. Like, you're ready to have a baby finally. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm panicking, you guys. Like, like, I'm not all like, okay, cool, let's do this. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm panicking, you guys. Like, I'm hyperventilating. Darian's over here. I think he's just, like, overwhelmed a little bit with all the people that just came in all of a sudden. And him just waking up, like, he literally just woke up, you guys. He was still sleeping for, like, all those hours. But he was still sleeping for all those hours. So they all, like, rushed into our room and was like, okay, it's baby time. I'm having a panic attack. This nurse is over here trying to put a mask on me. Darian's over here trying to calm me down and try to figure out what the doctor is telling him. Which I'm not 100% sure what he's telling him. But this nurse is over here, like, trying to put this fucking mask on me, you guys. You know those breathing oxygen masks? Okay. It doesn't help, you guys. Like, she's over here putting it on me, and I'm over here, like, trying to bend over, get ready to do it. And I'm over here telling her, like, just back off, alright? Just back off. Like, I got this. So, she doesn't back off me, guys. She just puts the shit on me. She's like, oh, nope, you're taking it. Like, I don't care. Well, after she turned around, I took that stuff off and was like, okay, like, I'm cool. We're calm down. We're having a baby. So I start pushing. And it only took me 5 pushes to push her out. That's why I started labor pushing at 6 a.m. and she was born at 6:20. It only took like 4 or 5 pushes, you guys. And I think it would have taken less if my first 2 were like general pushes. Like, the doctor said I wasn't doing a very good job pushing. But he has me pushing and all these nurses are just ready, And Darian's over here holding my hand and holding my leg and whatever. And I finally pushed that last push. May I add, it was so weird. Like, I watched all these labor and delivery videos, but no one like describes the feeling about pushing a baby out. It is such a creepy, weird, incredible, beautiful feeling. It is so weird, you guys. Like, you feel the baby coming out. Like, it's so weird. At least for me, because my epidural failed, so I felt all that. But it's such a weird feeling. Anyway, so she comes out finally and she cries. Like, oh my god, she cries. Most amazing sound on earth, may I add. So she is just all ready to come out. Like, she's on me, they put her on me, they start cleaning her. And this kid, no joke, must have been ready to come out because she poops everywhere. The moment she came out, she pooped everywhere. Like, I'm so glad she wasn't in me for another, like, 20 seconds, you guys. Like, I'm not kidding. The moment she came out, she pooped everywhere. But other than that, like, she came out, pooped everywhere. They got her measured. I'll definitely insert pictures, you guys. She, gets her all cleaned up, and they measure her. She's 7'14". So 7 pounds, 14 and a half ounces. They actually ended up just weighing her at 7'15" because of the poop she had. So on her birth certificate, it's 7'15", 7 pounds, 15 ounces is what they rate her as. But when I insert a picture of her newborn picture, it does say 714.5. But that is because she pooped a lot, you guys. So they were just like, okay, we're going to put her as 15 as born. But talking about baby, she's awake. So now that she's awake, we're almost done. But I had her at 6:20. She was weighing 7 pounds, 14 and a half ounces. Her hair is such a mess right now. She just woke up. But she's here a year later. It wasn't that crazy of a story, but my labor and delivery was very long, you guys. That's what made it so crazy. It was just so long. I did not expect all that, to be honest. But she's here. She's happy. She's healthy. Definitely worth it, you guys. But if you guys liked my labor and delivery story and you'd like to see more, definitely comment below and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.